The Mandalorian himself, Pedro Pascal, might be done showing his face as the beloved bounty hunter Din Djarin. After all these reports and rumors about Pedro wanting his character's face to be seen more, and arguing with producers behind the scenes about the amount of face time we have been getting with Din Djarin, it seems like we may never see Mr. Pascal's face again as the Mandalorian. But stick around to the end of this video to hear all the evidence and speculation to come up with your own answer to the question, will we ever see Din Djarin's face again? Pedro Pascal has quickly become one of the most famous and recognizable faces in Hollywood. And although he was in many other things before The Mandalorian, like Narcos and Game of Thrones, it seems like Star Wars has made him the enormous star that he is today. And Pedro himself, since being Din Djarin, has been one of the lead roles in The Last of Us TV series, Wonder Woman 1984 as the main villain of the movie, and The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, co-starring alongside legendary actor Nicolas Cage. So of course, being the main character in a Star Wars story is going to open a lot of doors. However, many people believe that Pedro Pascal is unhappy with the role as Din Djarin, because throughout 3 seasons of The Mandalorian and 1 season of the Book of Boba Fett, we have only seen Pedro's face 3 times. Now, this is all just rumor and speculation for now, but all the evidence for what I'm about to tell you right now points to this being the truth. During filming of Season 2 of The Mandalorian, Pedro thought his character should begin to show his face more. And if you remember back to Season 2, the last 2 episodes, we got to see the face of Din Djarin a whole lot more. However, this argument behind the scenes escalated to the point that Pedro actually left the set. The argument was between Pedro himself and Jon Favreau, who is one of the lead showrunners for The Mandalorian and writes almost every single episode. And you might be thinking, Mike, there is no way that all this is true. Pedro Pascal is the main character of The Mandalorian, and he's probably getting insane amount of money and doesn't care if he shows his face. And honestly, I would have agreed with you a few weeks ago. However, now a ton of industry insiders have come out to corroborate this story. First of all, there are the reports that Pedro Pascal wasn't even on the set once for Season 3 of The Mandalorian, meaning he was never on the set and was only a voice actor for this 3rd installment.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
Now, this may sound normal to you because he is just the voice of Din Djarin and we never see his face in this 3rd season, but Pedro Pascal was in costume as much as he could be in Season 1 and 2. Even when there were scenes where he was not going to be showing his face, he wanted to play the character of Din Djarin as much as he could. But all of that was before this alleged fight took place behind the scenes. Secondly, the reports saying that Din Djarin was supposed to show his face in the finale of Season 3 of The Mandalorian. However, Pedro Pascal had scheduling conflicts with The Last of Us. Pedro was too busy. He was on the set of The Last of Us filming for that show, so he was too busy to come film a few scenes of his face in The Mandalorian Season 3. Not only would this have changed the outcome of Season 3 of The Mandalorian, because we know that Pedro Pascal's character Din Djarin cannot take off his helmet, but this also means Pedro Pascal was prioritizing a role where you could see his face rather than being the Mandalorian, where it's just a brief scene of his face. Again, corroborating the story that Pedro Pascal just wants his face to be seen. And last but certainly not least, the making of Season 3 of The Mandalorian was just released on Disney+, and Pedro Pascal was nowhere to be seen. And again, for the first 2 seasons, Pedro was very involved with these making of the show. However, the making of Season 3 of The Mandalorian focused on Katie Sackhoff, who plays Bo-Katan. It focused on on Emily Swallow, who plays the Armorer, and it focused on Carl Weathers, who plays Grief Karga. And Pedro Pascal, who plays the main character of this show, was nowhere to be found. Now, of course, we will see Din Djarin again in Season 4 of The Mandalorian and in Dave Filoni's Heir to the Empire movie. But at this point, it seems highly unlikely that we will see Pedro Pascal's face again as Din Djarin in either of those projects. So now, after hearing all of this evidence, these reports and rumors and speculation about Pedro Pascal, what's going on behind the scenes, and why we didn't get to see Din Djarin's face in The Mandalorian Season 3, do you think we will ever see Din Djarin's face again? Tell me in the comment section below, smash a like on this video if you liked it, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. We go live on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so don't miss out on any of that by hitting that subscribe. And if you want more, go check out this video I just did about the possibility of Kathleen Kennedy being fired.